Okay, the last scene I want to speak of
Well, you
well, the
wanted to talk about the
series.
sex scenes.
Yeah, the sex scene, where you have the ticking of the clock in the background. You also have them post-coital. You have them getting into a sexual position before they actually begin talking. That I thought was probably one of the most memorable scenes in this series. But just looking through it, there's a series. There's other ways that the disembodied voice is used, like when uh, Lana sees this text of Freud, and it continues to follow her, and the disembodied voice, and you don't know if it's gaslighting her or not, at least initially, continues to deny its existence, uh, sort of just to push Lana, past the proverbial brink.
Um, well, I wanted to have some more overt kind of sexual things because the real life Lana Brown and I, it was the 2.5 weeks we were together. It was basically just a lot of fucking. I mean, she wasn't that deep. There wasn't that much that we could connect on a deeper level. So to try to portray it on a deeper level would between Danny and Lana would not have worked. That's another thing. Add a little bit of depth by having the disembodied voice. But I didn't want to do the Janie Fitz thing. In the Janie Fitz play, we see Janie and Danny Wagner, and there are blackout scenes. We'll see them, uh, you know, screwing and then blackout, and then but they're constantly moving. We don't actually see the sex scenes. We see them, and they're frozen in position with the clock ticking, tick, 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 tick. So Danny's, taking her from behind, or they're at 69ing, or Danny's, eating her out, or she's blowing him, or whatnot. But we only see him in silhouette too. Unlike the Janie Fitz, where it's full frontal thing, there are a few scenes where Lana is doing her kiss dance. I think she's naked in that scene. And then there's a scene where Danny's just lying naked on the bed, pooped out from the sex or something like that. But
Yeah, visually they reminded me a bit of Caravaggio, in a way.
That's interesting. Yeah, that would, yeah. And Caravaggio is darker on that. And this play, like most of my plays, is the stage is going to be darkened. But then we have them having these little talks, 2 to 5 minutes maybe in actual time, that I just they are typical kind of whispered bed pillow talk, as you would call it. But then a little bit of depth here and there. Again, I think that in one of the scenes she has one of her blonde moments where she says something incredibly stupid. But the thing is to give the panorama that to try to show that Danny is trying to make this work. But again, we don't really get all of the nastiness that I could have had. I could have made, with using real life scenes, I could have made the Lana character a lot more nasty and whatnot. We only hear about her nastiness after it happens when she bullshits about Danny. We know from hearing about Stacey Stafford how she has lied about him, and so we also now that Lana has lied about him. And this is one of the things that personally I don't like being lied about, whether it's from a corporation or from an individual. But that's a way that ties the two female characters together: the unseen and just mentioned Stacy, and then the seen Lana. And so it got then to bring it back to the subtitle, "The Trial of Stacey Stafford," is that Danny seems to be indicting Stacy by using Lana as a substitute because we get a sense that Danny is much more angry at the Stacy character, that we never see what she's really done to him. We only hear, and he seems to have moved beyond any kind of real ill will towards Lana, because Lana presumably didn't have as much potential. Not that Stacy would have had much potential, but certainly intellectually she seems to have been at least interested in the arts, whereas Lana seems to just be interested in hoping to reproduce and get her a man and stave off the biological ravages of time.
Now, before you go, you have to plug Jess's book.
Yeah, she's got her new book out, and she said to plug it again. and now I don't have. Let me see. What did I? She wrote it here. Let me look in the garbage can. Yeah. Oh, Human Stuff. That's the book. She does her Human Stuff. Her Human Stuff book. And I'm just looking at this goddamn camera that catches everything. See, I've got right here in the middle of my forehead this sweat mark.
Just out of curiosity, you can leave this in or take it out. But which of her books do you actually remember? Because you say it's sort of what ones are sort of etched into your psyche?
Oh, the Winky Tales. The two idiots from the Winky Tales that she gave a second book to. I remember her Lauren Isley novel. That was the fourth.
Which one was that?
That was the fourth book she wrote, the Magician or something it was called.
Rise of the Magicians.
Yeah, Rise of the Magicians, and then the third book, which she was the first one to publish, which was her first great book. But again, it's one of those things that she looks at it and she denigrates it. But compare it to anyone else. Compare it to, I mean, it's a better book than Ishiguro's best book. And then her Japanese trilogy, the Two Soldiers, the first one, Imperial Skill, with the guy, the Unit 731. Then the Gumal book and the second Indian book. So I mean, I remember the vaguely, but like this book she released, Human Stuff, was on the other unnamed Canadian, and so you know she sort of denigrates that book unnecessarily.
Yes, and she's changed one of the characters' names to Cleese, so she has both Canadians in it now.
Oh, she has. Okay.
Yeah.
Which character?
She has the good Canadian and the bad Canadian.
Which character did she change?
The main character, Ethan Cleese, and then the character that she disdains is the bad Canadian.
Huh? That's odd. I see. For me, I would never do that kind of thing. I wouldn't change a character's name or what. I mean, she has the right to do that. But I just don't like that WH ordinizing kind of thing. She wrote this 8 years ago. She should let it stay in the past. But it's her choice.